I'm Phil Glennon, the video archivist for the city of Tega Cay. In order to preserve the history of Tega Cay, I have compiled a documentary, and with those interviews plus a few other supporting documents which we portray, we try to give you the real story of Tega Cay. This is Barbara Oswald. She was involved in the formation of the rescue squad in the year 1976. And Barbara, would you tell me some of the details about what event precipitated the formation of the rescue squad?
Well, actually, it was a very sad event which precipitated. We had some lawn service in the yard and two 15-year-old boys with the supervision of an older man cutting grass in the yard. Decided when they got done with the yard they wanted to swim in the cove and cool off. The boys swimming across the cove.
And this cove is up in the vicinity of Windjammer, the cove next to Windjammer.
Right before you get to the end at Windjammer Beach.
Right.
And they went in the water and got across the cove fine, but on their way back, one of them could not make it, and the other one who did make it back was so exhausted he had a hard time even calling for help immediately when he got back. But when he did tell us that he was struggling to get his friend back, the call went out with the construction workers over a PA system that we had at the time, and construction workers just ran into the water, just trying everything they could to find him and to get him out. But unfortunately it was too late, and he did not make it out of the lake. He did drown. In the process of that, the older gentleman who was the supervisor of these young boys was so overcome with grief and distraught so that he suffered a heart attack. And we had to call the rescue squad, of course, from Fort Mill to come and take care of him. Fortunately, he survived after the heart attack, but the other was just a terrible tragedy.
I guess it took a while for the Fort Mill Rescue Squad to get here.
Quite a while, yeah. And even though they were very prompt when they got the call, it just does take a while for them to get here. It was tragic. So
what resulted from this? Did you? I understand that you took steps to form a rescue squad, was it?
Yes, several of us got together because there was a big crowd, of course, in the area at that time who had come to try to help, and we realized that we had to do something to make sure this never happened again if we could possibly help it. So the very next morning, 4 or 5 of the community residents met, and we did immediately learn CPR and first aid and organized what was at the time a quick put together rescue squad so that we could at least be on call for these people if they needed us.
And so that was the start of the rescue squad, and this was 1976.
Yes.
This is Jeannie Weaver.
Hi.
And Rich Barretto. Jeannie was is a past president of the rescue squad in the 80s, and Rich is the current president of the rescue squad. Now, what I would like to do is get a little bit of the history of the rescue squad. And Jeannie, can you tell me your experiences in the early 1980s about your joining the rescue squad?
I was visited by George Webman after we had moved to Tega Cay for about a week, and told him I was a first aid and CPR instructor, and he kind of indicated there was a place for me.
Yes.
I had no idea what a rescue squad was or did. About 2 days later, I was visited by Charlie Weber, who was an EMT on the squad then, who quote unquote recruited me to come and join the rescue squad. At the same time, Ruth Ross joined, and we found out that the ambulance cannot roll without an EMT, and there were no daytime EMTs. So these two older ladies decided to go back to school, and we went back and took our EMT training at York Tech and became very involved.
So when you went back to school, you came out as an EMT?
Yes, by the grace of God.
But,
we studied.
But I understand you also had to take a test to verify that you were.
Yes, we studied and went to school for 6 months, twice a week, and then we went to Columbia for a day and took, you know, a god-awful test it seemed at that point, but we managed to pass and we became the daytime EMTs.
Yeah. I gather there weren't too many EMTs available for the rescue squad at that time.
Not too many, but we provided nighttime coverage. We were in pretty good shape, but we just had no daytime people available.
Yeah. Like you were on a watch list, weren't you, of some type? I mean,
we were on call from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. You went to the police station and picked up a beeper, and you went to bed at night and prayed the beeper would not go off, and returned it in the next morning, and we took care of the city that way.
Yeah. Was it an active period?
Pretty active, yeah. I think so.
Yeah. I'm going to turn to Rich Barretto now, and can you came along about 1986.
The summer of 1986.
Summer of 1986, and you joined the rescue squad at that time?
Yeah, my wife and I both joined at the same time, and we ran together with Judy Forrest. We had every Wednesday night for several years with Judy, and she was our EMT. I was the driver. Mary Jo was our first aid person. Until we had our first child, and then Mary Jo got to retire. But we've been around since then.
A good excuse.
Yes.
Yeah, but generally, I gather the rescue squad people don't need excuses. They just they don't have enough time.
Time is the big issue right now with most of the squad members and the people within the city. Squad doesn't take a whole lot of time, but again, if we're going to go through EMT school, that type of thing, or some advanced EMT type of courses, again, we're looking at 2 nights a week for 6 months, and then you test out at the end of it, and we're only allowed to miss 3 classes, and that's for EMT basic, as you move up the ladder. But the squads come a long way with our different levels of certifications. We've had some paramedics in the past, and now we have 3 paramedics on the squad. We've got 16 people total. And we've got 3 paramedics. 2 of them are national board certified paramedics, so they can be a paramedic any place in the United States, as well as in the state of South Carolina.
Yeah, you had in the early '90s, you had a number of people that were on the rescue squad. Didn't you? Was this about your peak period?
I'd say in the 89, 90, 91 area, I think is probably when we had the most people on the squad. We were upwards of 30+ people on the squad, and we covered the city as primary ambulance service or primary emergency medical service, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Which was nice. We had the luxury of the people. Today, we're down to about 16 people, 15, 16 people, and we're covering everything that we possibly can, but with families and jobs and those types of things, it's very difficult to cover it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I know in addition to the watch standing, Jeannie, that the rescue squad does other things as far as educating the community is concerned. Can you tell me some of the things that...
Well, I think one of our greatest services to Tega Cay, besides carting people in and out and whatever and taking care of their emergency needs, is that over the years, starting back with Judy Forrest and then Paul Eckelman and myself, we've provided CPR classes. And they don't take long to take, but it is a life-saving procedure, especially if you have someone who's choking right beside you and you don't know what to do. It's a very helpless feeling, and we have trained many, many people, plus our people on the squad are recertified every year. And people outside the community have come in for CPR training here also.
The Tega Cay Volunteer Fire Department was chartered in 1973 with approximately 10 members, and there's two originals here today still. Dave Nelson was in it from day one. Stand up, Dave. We forget what you look like. And Floyd Robinson back there was in it approximately a month after it started. Phil Kasher was chief, and Kirscher. I didn't know him, I'm sorry. Yes. He was chief, and we started off with a 1973 Atlas pumper, which was bought by the developer out here, and it was housed in the present-day golf maintenance building. We had one bay down there for fire, and one bay for the later on for the rescue squad. So that's where we got our beginnings, down there. We were donated the original Tega Cay street washer. We made that street washer into a tanker. We had to park it outside, I remember, and put the hot tapes around it so that the pipes wouldn't freeze on it in the winter, but it was a real good vehicle for us. Matter of fact, it's still in service in a department in Lancaster today. So that one worked out pretty well. We, let's see, 1979, we went to a auction in Greensboro and bought Greensboro's engine number 1. You'll see pictures of it inside there. Presently, that truck is down at Leslie Fire Department, but it served us until 1984. About 1980 or so, we moved out of the golf maintenance building, and I've never found out why or anything, but we moved to a shed back here where the lighthouse is presently at Anchorage. And we had our vehicles in a shed for about a year and a half or so until this building was finished here. Moved into this building in 1981, March, and it didn't have anything on the inside. You see, we've come a long way. We did all the renovations, or actually construction, inside this building. We put in our own little meeting room, kitchen, bathrooms, and storage rooms, and an attic up above. This building in 1981 was built with the help of the Lions Club. They raised the money for it, and they also raised the money so we could buy that pumper from Greensboro and pay off the rest of the ambulance payment of the original, the second ambulance. The original ambulance was a station wagon type thing. The second ambulance out here was a van. Shortly after we moved in here, we purchased a 1951 American LaFrance 85-foot aerial pumper, ladder truck, and that served us very well until we sold it to buy our engine 1 over there in 1987. So that presently is on display over at the Firehouse Restaurant. It's not in such good shape anymore, but it was in great shape when it left here. Anyway, all that equipment helped us get our ISO 6 rating, which happened in 1983. We were in class 9 out here. If you folks aren't familiar with ISO, 10 is the worst and 1 is the best. There's only 29 or so fire departments in this country that are class 1. Class 2, of course, there's more. Class 6 is pretty good for a volunteer fire department, and we were hoping for at least a 7. We felt very fortunate to get a 6. That 6 rating reduced everybody's insurance policy premiums out here 30 to 35%. Over the last 10 years or so, we bought in 1984, we bought our first brand new pumper, Pierce Suburban. It is not here today because it is out for maintenance. It'll be back on Monday if you need to take a good look at it. 1987, we bought the only four-wheel drive pumper in the county. It's over there. It's also a Pierce unit. We bought it new. And in 1988, we bought the 1977 Jeep pickup truck. You see a Jeep over there. And it was started off as a pickup truck in Pineville for first 60,000 miles, and we have since purchased that and made that into an excellent brush truck. It serves us very well. And finally, engine 4 right inside the bay here. I'm sorry, that's not, I've got one more after that. Engine 4 here was purchased in '91, and we sold the original truck that the developer bought us. It was 20 years old and was outdated. So engine 4 here is a pumper tanker, and it rounds out the fleet. 1997, we decided that we needed a service truck. We had the old ambulance, and it was grossly overloaded. So we started searching around, and we purchased truck 5 over there, the one in the middle bay. And that's actually a 1967 Ford with 15,000 miles on it. We redid the truck head to toe. We're almost done with it, and it really will serve us well. So that's kind of the history. We've gone from 10 members up to 46 today, and we have this new building plan. We've had no deaths in our fire district. We're very proud of that. And we've had no major injuries of any firemen over the last 25 years since we started. We maintain an under 5-minute response time, and we're also very proud of that. It's kind of nice when you are here to break ground on a new building, which you've needed for probably 5 years or more. If you can imagine 35 people coming to a meeting, I know Darryl Hood can, because he does a lot of training for us, and it's either too hot or too cold to be out here, and we're all in that room. It's tons of fun. Well, we're looking forward to this new building, which will be built right here on this ground.